Elphaba Throp, I know you're out here.
The Wicked for Good trailer just dropped, and it's clear we've left behind the whimsical charm of the first film. The director John M. Chu has even said that this second movie focuses on the aftermath of decisions made in the first movie, highlighting the emotional and moral complexities the characters now face. The trailer is packed with blink and you'll miss it moments, Easter eggs, and subtle nods that deepen the narrative. From symbolic imagery to character transformations, there's a lot to unpack, and if you're unfamiliar with the Wicked musical or storyline, a heads up, there will be spoilers ahead, so let's break it down and uncover every hidden detail you probably missed.
You're the only friend I ever had.
Because I knew you. And I've had so many friends.
The trailer starts with Glinda alone in her Emerald City apartment, and Elphaba breaks the glass just like she did in their dorm room in the first film.
I don't know, I've never known.
Glinda immediately knows she's there and runs out to meet her, and we can see she's wearing a green earring, symbolizing she always has a piece of Elphaba with her. She's in her wedding dress, and first of all, Ariana Grande's hair and makeup looks so amazing here. Like, she looks like she just stepped out of a painting. It's probably the eve of her wedding to Fiyero, or maybe it's the night after the wedding fell apart. That would make more sense, honestly, because it's nighttime. At this point in the story, the flying monkeys probably don't work for Elphaba yet, because Glinda says come in before the monkeys spot you, so clearly there's still a threat. And in this same moment, we hear a brand new song playing in the background.
Elphaba Throp, I know you're out here. Just come in before the monkeys spot you.
So, of course, she's right. Elphaba is there. And in that shot, we get a little nod to the Superman balcony scene. Elphaba's hovering outside Glinda's terrace almost the same way Superman did with Lois.
Good evening, Miss Lane.
Then we get the Universal logo, but it's all green this time because it's Wicked themed. But here's something. If you look closely into the moon, you'll actually see a faint silhouette of a tornado. That's actually a callback to the tornado that brings Dorothy to Oz in the 1939 Wizard of Oz. It's also not the first time they've hidden that detail. It was also there in the beginning of Wicked Part 1 too. And during that sequence, you can hear Elphaba screaming eerily in the background right before a splash of water, which is probably when Dorothy douses her with water. Then we see Elphaba's new space, her own little hidden away abode. And what's funny is back in their dorm room, Glinda was the messy one, and Elphaba was the one trying to keep everything neat and under control. But now it's totally flipped. Elphaba's place is full of chaos. We see her casting a spell with the Grimoire, things are floating in the background, and you can tell she's gotten really good, and she's not the unsure student she was anymore. We get a shot of Munchkinland and see they're putting up the evil witch poster that we see at the beginning of the first film during the No One Mourns the Wicked sequence. Then it cuts back to Glinda in her apartment, and we see her putting her crown back on and getting in her bubble, probably heading to Munchkinland to make the announcement, you know, the big moment where she tells the people of Oz that the Wicked Witch of the West is dead.
Fellow Ozians, let me set the record straight. Yes, the Wicked Witch of the West is dead.
Then we see Madame Morrible, and if you notice, she's literally let her hair down. In the first movie, she always kept it neat and tight, trying to play the role of the respectable, good authority figure. But now she's done pretending. And for those who are familiar and know what happens in the second act of Wicked, this is the moment she starts creating the tornado, the one that brings Dorothy from Kansas to Oz. Then we see Fiyero, fully suited up as the captain of the guard. His uniform has these subtle details. The golden tones are a clear nod to the yellow brick road, and the buttons are stamped with Oz insignias. But here's the cool part. For those who know what happens in the second act, Fiyero eventually becomes the Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow we see in both the first movie and in this trailer is literally wearing the exact same jacket as Fiyero. Then we get our first glimpse of Fiyero and Elphaba together in this movie, and they're in the woods, which is a very different way from how they were in the woods in the first film. And the other time when they rescued that lion cub who'll be all grown up here and become the Cowardly Lion. Next, we see the wizard, and he's using this spinning device called a zoetrope. It's actually one of the very first moving pictures ever created, but to the ignorant people of Oz, it probably looks like literal magic, but it's just another trick he brought from the real world to keep fooling everyone. We also see Elphaba gently touching the yellow bricks that were being laid to build the yellow brick road, a shot we already saw in the first film's teaser released at the Super Bowl last year. Next, we're in Munchkinland again, probably right after Thank Goodness, and here everyone's startled and looking up, where Elphaba writes "Our wizard lies in the sky." In the stage musical, it's not shown as she writes it, instead it's an offstage action that's referenced by other characters through dialogue. But since this is a movie and they have access to CGI and everything, they went all in and showed it, and it's definitely a callback to The Wizard of Oz, where Margaret Hamilton's Wicked Witch writes "Surrender Dorothy in the sky."
Who's her?
It's the witch. She's followed us here.
Surrender, Dorothy.
Oh, Dorothy? Who's Dorothy?
Also, Glinda's dress here in part 2 is a mixture of pink and blue. I saw someone online suggest that it might be symbolic, like she's torn between being just Glinda or Glinda the Good, or maybe it's simply a fun nod to Sleeping Beauty, with that whole make it pink, make it blue thing. Either way, it's definitely a choice. Then we see Elphaba landing on the yellow brick road while it's being built, which I feel gives major Maleficent vibes. There's fire burning on both sides, which she probably started, and the Emerald City looms in the background. It's such a powerful shot. We get a powerful shot of Glinda too, climbing up the stairs in Kiamo Ko. This was actually one of the first shots they ever released for the movie. She's wearing her pink bubble dress, the same one from No One Mourns the Wicked, but now the castle around her is dark and damaged, and as she climbs, there's a small ray of light shining on her from above. Back in Elphaba's place, we see the signed brochure that Glinda gives her when they first got on the train to go to the Emerald City in the first film.
Oh, wait! Oh, excuse me. Oh. Elsie, here. I forgot to give you this. Oh. Bye.
Then we get the wedding scene. When the teaser for the first film came out last year and everyone saw the wedding scene, we all thought it was going to be part of a dream or a fantasy sequence or something. But from the shots in this trailer, we can now confirm it's real. The wedding is actually happening in real life, and the whole setup definitely gives Crazy Rich Asians vibe. I think it's after this daytime wedding scene goes wrong that Glinda and Elphaba meet at her apartment in the Emerald City at nighttime at the beginning of the trailer. Then we see Kiamo Ko at night and a cloaked figure riding a horse towards the chasm. And if the figure looks familiar, it's because they're also shown at the beginning of the first movie, which I'm pretty sure is Glinda. Then we get our first shot of Dorothy, and they're still not showing her face, so we still don't know for sure who's playing her. But I think it might be Alicia Weir, because she attended the Wicked premieres and all that. So she's wearing Nessaros's silver slippers, and she's walking in a puddle of water, the puddle from the water she pours when she melts Elphaba. We also see her in Munchkinland talking to some munchkins. There's a full-on disco party going on in the wizard's castle in the Emerald City. They have disco balls, and the wizard Elphaba and Glinda are all dancing and having fun. I think they made an intentional decision to release the trailer on Pride Month, because Wicked has a very high LGBTQ fan base, and as you can see, the disco ball lights form a rainbow color, kind of like the pride flag. So the next scene, we see Glinda and Elphaba in a stunning scene where they're sitting on Elphaba's broom and taking a ride, which is probably during for good. In this scene, we see Dorothy again, but this time she's gathered the whole crew, and they're meeting the wizard, who's telling them he'll solve their problems if they bring him Elphaba's broomstick.
Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West.
As Elphaba's about to leave the wizard's castle, she summons her hat and broom just like how Thor summons his hammer.
I'm off to see the wizard.
If you caught any details I missed, drop them in the comments. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe.